welcome back to my channel. I thank you so much for being here. If you have not been here before, I welcome you. I ask that you would hit that subscribe button and join the family here on my channel. I am Cindy with Creations from the Table, and I do all kinds of different DIY type projects, whether they are crafting or homemade cleaners or whatever, which is exactly what we're going to be doing today. But if you like that sort of thing, I invite you to hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell, and YouTube should notify you when I have a new video go up, which right now is every week, but I am planning to add an element to my channel where I'll be posting more than once a week, so fingers crossed on that one. If you are already here as a subscriber, I thank you for returning. I appreciate you so much, and I thank you for all the support that you give. So without further ado, let's get to creating. All right, so jumping right in, I just want to explain for those who haven't watched, if this is your first video that you've been here, I am considered blind. I have 10% vision, and I go into that in some of my other videos, which I will do other videos on later on down the line. But for today, since we're just going to make some cleaners, I'm just going to give you that heads up in the beginning to let you know that this is part of the reason why I choose to make my own cleaners whenever possible. When I spray a cleaner on a surface, I don't always necessarily see if it has sprayed outward or, you know, on something that it shouldn't spray. So if I'm making my own cleaners that are basically harmless, that don't have bleach and stuff like that in them, then I don't have to worry so much about where my spray has gone. So with that being said, I have found some alternatives to make homemade cleaner, which is what I choose to do. And you may just choose to do it for the purposes of not using harsh chemicals, which I don't like either, because I tend to like hack and gag and, you know, whenever I'm breathing those cleaners in. So I feel like I'm talking really fast. I apologize. So what we're going to start with, and I'm just going to tell you right now, because I'm doing this on the live, not a live video, but like no necessarily like editing here, I'm going to be probably knocking stuff over. That's just how it goes in my world with having 10% vision. So I apologize in advance. So the first thing I'm starting with is, I believe this is a 16-ounce spray bottle. So I'm just going to remove that, and you want to make sure that your bottle is clean. And this is actually the bottle that I already make this cleaner in, so I didn't really have to do too much, you know, rinsing out of any of that stuff. Now, this is my favorite best friend tool whenever I'm making my cleaners, is because there ain't no way that I'm trying to see pouring stuff into this little opening of a bottle, and I don't know, you know, for those of you who may have vision loss looking at this, it is a very small opening from a spray bottle, which I'm sure you know is there. So funnels are my best friend when it comes to this kind of stuff. Now, normally, for most people, they're gonna measure stuff out, but a lot of times that doesn't work for me. And sometimes the fact of the matter is that you don't have to be totally precise with this. So if you get a little bit extra, it's not that big a deal. If you go a little bit less, that's not that big a deal either. So if you want to measure these out, it's going to be a 16-ounce spray bottle, a third of a cup of rubbing alcohol, and probably about 3 tablespoons, I'm gonna say, of dish soap. Just your, whatever dish soap you use is perfectly fine. And then water. So you can also add to this lemon if you want that fresh smell. I happen to be out of like lemon juice. I normally would keep that on hand, but I'm out of that right now. But you could also use lemon essential oil or orange essential oil, which I do have, but I'm not going to put it in this cleaner because I have it set aside for the other cleaners. So because I've made this quite a few times before, and the measuring thing tends to be a problem, I tend to like spill a lot of that when I try to measure this out. So I just choose not to measure it out. So I'm just going to kind of eyeball, well, I guess saying eyeballing for a blind person probably isn't the best thing, and I don't think that earballing is a word, but either way, I know about how much it sounds like to put in about a third of a cup, so that's what I'm going to do. Okay, that's about what I need right there. Whew. And then for the dish soap, it's about good right there. And then I'm going to, just for purposes, I mean, you could obviously just fill this up at your sink, but for purposes of the video, I went ahead and filled a little container. And again, you can kind of hear, for those of you who maybe have vision issues, You can hear when it's getting close to the top. I'm gonna pick that up. Oh, it still feels like, woo! See, I overfilled. I went too fast. So that is good. Going to set this aside and move on to our next cleaner right after I clean up this mess that I just made. Good thing it's a cleaner. Okay, so moving on to our next one. This is a really simple DIY cleaner to clean your microwave with. I don't know about you, but our microwave around here gets pretty yuck. So this is a really easy way to kind of add a steaming effect. I know that you can buy, or you used to be able to buy these pouches, these bags that had like a cleaning wipe inside of it, and you put it in the microwave in the package, and it would kind of like expand and pop some holes in it and put out this like steam mist with like a lemon cleaner in it. This is essentially sort of the same thing, but without the prepackaged stuff, without the, because I thought those were kind of pricey, but this is essentially going to be the same thing. So you're going to take a glass, make sure your dish is microwave safe, whatever you use. I prefer to use a glass pie plate. I feel like that's the best option for me. If you have a square, like 8x8 or 9x9 little square casserole type dish, that would work fine too. Just, you know, make sure your dish is microwave safe. I don't recommend plastic for that. So you're going to put some water to fill up your pie plate about 3/4 of the way full. That might not be quite that much right now, but it's fine. And then I'm also going to, for this one, now this is where you'd want to add for the, smells so fresh. This is the orange. Now, I can't see the drops coming out of this, but I know that there's going to be a couple drops come out, so I'm just going to kind of do like one of these numbers. But you can just put in a couple of drops of essential oil, maybe 3 drops, or if you're using the lemon juice, normally I would use the, you know, the little lemon that comes at the grocery stores. It's got lemon juice in it, but it looks like a little lemon with the spout on top. That's what I would normally use here, and I would just put in like a, you know, amount, so like a teaspoon maybe, you know, if that. So you're gonna do the water, the essential oil or lemon, whichever you prefer, and then some baking soda. And again, it's probably like a tablespoon, but I'm just gonna kind of use my hand and sprinkle it. I'm telling you, when you don't have a lot of vision, using your hands for stuff and, you know, just listening for it is sometimes just easier. So that is that. And that is it for this cleaner. And we will put this in the microwave. I'm going to show you how all of these can work once I get them done, but I just want to show them to you first. So there's our microwave cleaner. Can't get much easier than that. Okay, and for our final cleaner, this is going to be your alternative to any of your dusting sprays, the commercial dusting sprays, which I won't say any brands, but this is going to be for any of your wood surfaces that you want to dust. This I have about I think this is a 12-ounce spray bottle, but again, make sure it's clean. And this one is not quite as dependent on the size of the bottle, because this one you do have to measure out 1 cup. So as long as your bottle holds 1 cup, maybe 1 1/4 cups worth of liquid, then you're good. So it doesn't matter as far as that one goes. So again, got my trusty funnel, which I did rinse out and clean off from using the other cleaner, because we don't want any dish soap or alcohol on, you know, residue on that. I've already measured out 1 cup of water here, so I'm gonna pour this in. Which obviously you could just go ahead and double batch this if you want to, but I'm just making a single batch for now. And then you want a 1/4 cup of vinegar. I'm gonna earball this again. Okay, it's probably about a 1/4 cup. Again, it's not too fussy on the exact measurement there. I wonder if I should coin that phrase, earballing. I don't know. I don't know if many people do that, but. And then you just want a couple of 2 tablespoons, excuse me, I'm sorry, 2 teaspoons of olive oil. And again, I'm just gonna kind of guess it's about good right there. If you are not comfortable, just eyeballing or earballing your measurements, then by all means go ahead and measure them out and be sure that you have the right measurements. And I seem to have lost my essential oil. Oh, here it is. Okay. Blind straws. This one I am using lemon essential oil. Now, it calls for 10 to 15 drops of essential oil. I guess it's really up to you if you don't want it quite that potent. And again, because I can't see the drops going in, I'm just gonna kind of guess as to what I'm getting here. That's probably good right there. I just shook some drops through the funnel into the bottle, and that should be, kind of tap that down a little bit. Let's give it a smell. Yeah, I can smell the lemon. So what that does is the vinegar will disinfect, and the olive oil will give you that kind of glossy shine from which you normally would get from the commercial dusting sprays. So you just want to kind of give that a little bit of a shake around to mix that up, and you are good to go with some homemade dusting spray. Now I'm going to demonstrate all of these cleaners, so let's get right into that. Okay, I'm going to dual demonstrate these because our microwave cleaner, which I'm going to start with, has to go on for 3.5 minutes. So while that's going to be on, I will go ahead and demonstrate the dusting cleaner, and then we will end with our all-purpose cleaner. So I am going to go ahead and carefully put this in the microwave, leaving your glass plate, if you have the turnstile kind, you'll leave that right in there because it's to clean that as well. And I don't know if you can see them from there, but I have these squares on my microwave so that I can tell which buttons that I need to use most, and I just use those for landing points. So I'm going to put this on for 3 minutes and 30, well, I put 31 seconds because it's easier for me to hit that button. So while that is heating up and getting some steam going so that we can clean our microwave, let's go into the living room and I'll show you the dusting cleaner. Okay, so here's my end table. I have already taken everything off, and it is a clean, clear surface to go ahead and test my spray. Give that a good spray on there, and I'm just using literally the sleeve from a sweatshirt of one of my, I believe it was my son's sweatshirt that he no longer wore, and I cut it up to use for rags because sweatshirts make fantastic rags. So we're just going to give that a wipe down and see how that looks. And I feel like I can see the light reflecting off of it from my lamp. So it looks like it's pretty good and shiny, which is what we want. And I can definitely smell the freshness. So that is our dusting cleaner. Okay, so our microwave cleaner has been in there for 3.5 minutes, and we have this nice kind of wet, workable surface in here. It's all steamed with our lemon and our baking soda. The baking soda is actually going to help disinfect, but it also gives that freshness that takes away some of the odors that can build up in our microwaves. So I'm going to carefully, and that is not hot. If you let it sit, like just let it sit even for probably 3 to 4 minutes after it gets done, because it'll steam that much more. But carefully remove that, and if you need hot pads, please use hot pads. And we are going to now wipe this. Oops, I think I just kicked the camera. We're going to wipe this out, and I'm actually going to go ahead and take out the glass plate because you can actually go ahead and clean that in the sink if you'd prefer. I might do that. I mean, this is coming clean, but I might do that just for time purposes. But coming in to wipe all this out, it's really nice and steamed in there, so you got a good wet surface here to be cleaning off all that gunk that got steamed off that might have been in there before, and I really need to do this more often than I do, but oftentimes I can forget about. This is one of those things I just tend to forget about. I don't know why, but I can just smell that orange in there, and really freshens it up. And you can also, because this steams so much, you can actually clean the inside of your door too. That will actually clean that really well. So it gives it a nice, I mean, that really just took I don't feel anything on there, and I have to go around and kind of feel things that might be stuck in there, but it really seemed to clean that up nice. And of course, you know, if you have more stuff stuck on there, the more elbow grease you have to put in with this, but I think this got it pretty good. So we'll just continue to wipe that out a little bit, wipe down our door, get that nice and clean because that can get spattered on as well. I'm not even sure if that's in the camera, but wipe that down, and that is good to go. It is nice and fresh smelling and all clean to get mucked up again by all the stuff that goes in the microwave. Okay, and for our all-purpose cleaner, that is for countertops, bathroom countertops, kitchen sinks, bathroom sinks, any surface like that. Do not use this to dust with, but any of your hard surfaces like that, this is completely safe for, and because it's got the rubbing alcohol in it, it makes it very shiny, which I will show you. Get my rag wet here. I like to work with a pretty wet rag. I only wring it out, you know, some it's still quite wet. And I've taken everything off the back of my sink. I don't know about at your house, but at my house, again, because I don't necessarily see things flying and whatever, sometimes the back of my sink behind the faucet there can get a little bit grungy, so this is a great cleaner for that, especially if you got like the backsplashes. So I'm gonna go ahead and spray that back there first. And, yep, make sure I'm getting back there and all the little corners here, and then I'll go ahead and spray it into the sink. Give it a good coating. You can smell the alcohol in it, but it's not overpowering. It's not like that, oh my goodness, I can't, you know, you know, kind of stuff. So set that aside. And because this is stainless steel, this is really going to shine this up nice. And give this a good wipe down, getting up on the top and in the back behind the sprayer and where the faucet is. The faucet, and I really like to have a clean kitchen sink, and unfortunately, like I said, because I do a lot of flinging with a lot of my stuff back there, it gets a little bit grungy. So, and just kind of wiping around. I have a garbage disposal, which actually this, you know, rinsing down the sink will actually get nice and cleaned down there too for smell, because I know, oof, that can get kind of yuck as well. So we're gonna go ahead and rinse this, and I literally just rinse out my rag and then, you know, rinse around the sink once I've rinsed the rag out, and just kind of keep it really wet and gently go around so I'm not splashing too much, and just kind of bring the water up on the sides, rinsing it off good. And, you know, getting back here as well. Getting the faucet rinsed off. That's the nice thing about this too, is with it being a homemade cleaner, like if there's a little bit of residue left behind, it's really not gonna, you know, hurt anything, because it's all natural kind of stuff. I mean, obviously you don't want to be putting alcohol on your stuff that you cook with and whatever, but it sterilizes. So, so there is that side of the sink. And you know, that's the one thing with my vision, I can see reflection off of stuff, and to me this looks pretty good and shiny. I really like how this stuff works. I'm gonna do the other side real quick and get this good and cleaned up, and then I will have a nice clean kitchen sink. That's the thing, you know, when you have low vision or blindness, I'm gonna spray it on the rag a little bit too. You want things to be clean because you can't always necessarily see when something's not. So I like having the kind of cleaner that I know is gonna like sterilize and disinfect, excuse me, and have a good sterilized clean base when I go to start using it again. I know it's clean. And I'm gonna take my little drain doodad that plugs up my sink when I do dishes and give that a good clean, because obviously that needs to be cleaned as well. And down in there in your opening. I really hope you guys get a chance to try these. They're really, I'm telling you, because I can't just like run to the store when I'm out of cleaner. So if I already have this stuff on hand and I can make this, man, what a lifesaver for me. So, you know, I just make sure that I'm stocked up on the base stuff that I need. I'm gonna set this over there. I'm just make sure I'm stocked up on my vinegar and on my rubbing alcohol and my essential oils and baking soda. And I mean, with the exception of the essential oils, the other stuff is pretty much stuff you're gonna have most likely in your kitchen anyway. And obviously water out of your tap is readily available. So you can't get much more, you know, low key on the ingredients than tap water. So you know, I hope this is also very budget friendly. So I hope you guys get the opportunity to make these. I hope you love them, because they've really been a big lifesaver for me in terms of being able to replenish. So there is the kitchen sink, all nice and cleaned and sterilized and ready for the next round of whatever chaos life is going to throw at us with dinner times and snacks and just all this stuff. So there you have it. Well, that's going to do it for this week's video. I thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. I would greatly appreciate too if you would give this video a thumbs up, a like, help me to grow this community so that it can be a resource for many people. If you have not subscribed, please do so as well. Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, and we will be able to meet back here week to week then, and you will know when my videos are ready for viewing. So I plan to add the element of maybe some life hacks for people with low vision or blindness, or maybe if you just wear glasses and you don't have them on hand, or you know what, if you're like me and you're just too darn lazy to have to try to read labels or do whatever, and you just want to like grab something by feel, that'll work too. So there'll be some life hacks to try to do some of those things. And also for these cleaners, I will put in the description box the actual recipes, the actual measurements, so that if you are more comfortable with actually measuring everything out, you can do so. You'll have that information. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. My love to all of you. And just remember that no matter how many things we create, that there is only one creator. See you next week.